Hello, Dental A Team listeners. This is Kiera Dent, and I just wanted to say thank you so much for being part of my Dental A Team family. I seriously love doing this podcast. I thought I was going to hate it, and I love it. I love it so much because I get to connect with you. I get to hear how this podcast is helping you and your practice be better. So if you have loved this podcast and you are willing to share, I would greatly appreciate if you'll share with your friends, if you'll leave us a review, if you'll give us 5 stars, anything you can do. Just like you guys grow your practices, we're trying to grow this podcast to positively impact the world of dental. This is how we get to grow our Dental A Team family. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you enjoy the show. Welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. We're your hosts, Kiera Dent
and Dr. Mark Costas.
Mark and I had this crazy idea that maybe we could combine a dentist and a team member's perspective because let's face it, dentistry can be a challenging profession with those two perspectives. And Dental A Team podcast was created.
I'm a practicing dentist, a multiple practice owner, a dental performance coach, and the founder of the Dental Success Institute.
I've been a dental assistant, treatment coordinator, scheduler, biller, office manager, current practice owner, and international dental consultant. Mark and I don't just understand you, we are you.
Our goal is to positively impact the world of dentistry by sharing our lessons learned from the road in hundreds of dental offices.
2 perspectives, 1 mission, to help dental professionals reach their full potential. Welcome to the Dental A Team podcast. Hello, Dental A Team listeners. It's Kiera Dent, car casting on my way to my little sister's high school graduation. And I have a crazy cool idea that I wanted to share with you. So I was in an office the other day and I was coaching an office and I realized that there was something about this office that was different. And they have a team member. So place yourselves in this position. Let's see if you guys can get there with me or not. This lady came. She used to be a dentist in another country. She came over to America and she's no longer a dentist. She's actually as a dental assistant. And I was watching her and she is an incredible dental assistant. I mean, can you imagine? She was a dentist in another country. Now she's a dental assistant. Pretty fantastic. And I was talking to her and she said, you know, Kiera, I asked her, I said, what's your secret? What's your secret to being happy? Because she's always happy. And she said, well, I just have to be happy. I have to put myself in this place of being happy and loving what I do. She said, I could be miserable. I used to be a dentist in another country, and now I'm a dental assistant in this country. She said, but I love dentistry, and I love what I do, and I've decided to be the best at who I am and make and really be happy. Not just tell myself I'm happy, but actually be happy. So this, of course, started my mind on an entire track of thinking about this, thinking about my life, thinking about all of you listeners. And I started thinking, okay, what about you guys? So add another piece to the equation. And I was reading the book, The Obstacle is the Way. We'll have it in the show notes, the author, because I can't think of it right off the top of my head. He also writes Ego is the Enemy. Fantastic books. They're short. They're awesome on Audible. And in The Obstacle is the Way, he was talking, the premise of this book is how every hard thing in front of us actually is the path to where we need to go. Whether it's we have failure, that's not failure. It's actually just showing us what way didn't work so we can find the way that does work. They talked about how there was this story at the beginning of the book, and he said that they placed a big boulder in the middle of this path, and they were watching all these different people that were coming by. And as these people were coming by, when they got to this boulder, some people would turn around. There was no way to get through it, so they'd go back. Other people would try and find a way to get around it. They'd try and climb over it. And then finally, someone came by and realized they were going to move this boulder out of the way. Well, upon moving this boulder out of the way, lo and behold, there's gold underneath this boulder. They would never found the gold had they never moved the boulder. So clearly, that's the point of the book. The obstacle is the way. Whatever's in front of us, whatever those hard times are, that's the way to get there. So tying it back to this dental assistant, she said, you know, I have to find happiness. I can be the best that I am. In the book, The Obstacle is the Way, they also talked about how one of the things that you can do is be the very best that you can be, because it's not when you're sitting there thinking, oh, well, when I'm an office manager or when I'm a lead assistant or when I'm a lead hygienist or when I'm at another office making more money or at my next job, I'm going to be the best. No, who you are as a person right here, right today is who you are. So who are you? Are you the best at what you're doing? Or are you kind of slacking on things? Assess yourself. This is a self-assessment because I believe in dentistry. It's very easy to get caught up in the day in, day out and not look at yourself and see how could you improve? What obstacle is in front of you that could be the way? So for example, let's say you're a dental assistant. Let's say you're sitting there. Okay, how could you improve yourself? Could you learn how to flip a room a little bit faster? I was working with this office and we are looking for efficiencies. These dental assistants have been there for 20 years. They told me, Kiera, I've been doing dentistry longer than you've been alive. I don't think that's true. They don't know how old I am. These freckles make me look a lot younger than I am. But the reality is they've been doing it a long time. Every single person, no matter who you are or where you are, can be more efficient in some way. I promise you. Find the obstacle. Find where it is. What's your pain point? Usually the pain point, the thing that drives you nuts, the thing that you notice in somebody else is typically where that pain point is. So let's find it. Let's dive into it. So as a dental assistant, can you be more efficient? In this office, they weren't writing notes efficiently. As soon as the patient sits down, take the blood pressure, start your notes so your notes are completed. The goal is, I used to push myself, guys. I was not the fastest dental assistant. I can promise you that. I used to push myself. So what I would do is I wanted to make sure before I took the patient up to the front, I hated having to stay after and do notes. That drove me nuts. Also, as an employer, it drives them nuts that you're sitting there doing all your notes forever after hours. That drives everybody nuts. No, reality is let's get in, let's work hard, let's hustle when we get there, and let's leave as a team. Let's get out of there, go live our personal lives. That's why we work. We don't live to work. We work to live. Remember that. You'll be a lot happier. We don't live to work. We work to live. Make sure we're actually living life. So this team, they were taking forever. They weren't able to get their notes completed before they took the patient up. So they're spending a long time at the end of the day finishing up their notes. Well, let's find the efficiency. The efficiency is what I used to do, and I don't think I'm the most efficient. There's some of you way more efficient out there, so share your secrets with us. But what I used to do is as soon as I seated the patient, put the blood pressure cuff on, I would start my note. Reality is fillings, crowns, extractions, endo, all those, doctors tend to typically follow the same pattern. I know. They might use B1 composite. They might use C3 composite. Those things will change. That's fine. But the rest of it, you can have completely done. You typically know, I used to know my doctor usually does 2 lido, 1 septo. That was pretty standard. I watched them. Pay attention. Dentists are usually pretty good creatures of habit. They usually follow the same pattern. So you can have your note basically done before the patient is even getting anesthetic. So if you can have that as your benchmark, you then are going to be able to be so much better off because your notes are already done. All you have to do is fine tune them at the end of the procedure and make sure what you already wrote is actually what happened. Do you see how fast that is? While you're having those 30 seconds of getting the blood pressure done, you have to put the blood pressure in the note anyway. Just start your note. You can start your note in any software. We showed them yesterday in Open Dental how you can start your note without having to have the procedure completed in order to do so. Start your note. Have your note basically completed beforehand. Also in Open Dental, there are those pop-ups. You can start your note, close out, because you don't know the pop-ups. Hygienists, you have no idea what their calculus levels are. You don't know what their, is it generalized, moderate, or severe? You don't know those things. So you've got to figure those things out afterwards. You can close your Open Dental note and open it back up to the pop-ups. So you don't have to do all the pop-ups right away. You can reopen it and those pop-ups will be there so you can answer those questions later. You can at least just get the beginning part of your notes done. So this is going to help you guys be so much more efficient. Also, another efficiency piece is your doctor coming in at the end of your exam. If they're coming in, hygienists, at the end of your exam, guess what? You're probably always behind, unless your doctor's super awesome. But usually when doctors come in at that last 5 or 10 minutes, the doctors get behind. That means treatment gets behind. That means hygiene gets behind. No. Hygienists, go get your doctor as soon as you are ready. You've taken your full mouth probe. You've taken your x-rays. You've done whatever you need to do to where your doctor can diagnose. Let them know you're ready for an exam. Doctors, aim to get into the hygiene exam where you will be in and done, not starting, but done with the hygiene exam 15 minutes before the end of the appointment. If you're able to get done with the hygiene exam 15 minutes before the appointment's over, that leaves your hygienist time to do fluoride. That leaves them time to reschedule their patients, get their patient out of the room, up to the front office, flip the room and get the next patient back. And so that way they can stay on time. Those are efficiency pieces. That's where the obstacle is the way. That's how this dentist, who is now a dental assistant, said, you know what? I am the best dental assistant and I look for ways to be better, regardless of the life that I was handed. So look for the efficiency pieces within yourself. Front office team. Are you following a pattern? Do you call and get all your confirmations? Like really, truly, do you actually do this? Do you get those confirmation calls done early in the morning so they're out of the way? Do you do a 24-hour where they have to call back to confirm? Or do you do 48 hours so you've got a little more leeway and you're not scrambling always at the last minute? Are you batching your claims as the patient comes through? And then in the morning, like we talked about on our billing episode a little while ago, are you going through and just doing a quick check through all of them? Or are you taking forever? Are you on the last patient? This was another efficiency piece to get people out the door and on their way. The front office team, you can collect on the last patient before they go back to the room. That way you can pretty much close out your day. Then let's say you see patients until 5. Your last patients usually will show up around 4 o'clock. Well, what if they're going to do fluoride? I don't know. Am I supposed to collect on them or not? Sweet. Front office team, you can ask, hey, Kiera, let's get you all checked out for today. That way at the end of your appointment, you can just take off. You can get home to your family. I know that they're probably going to do fluoride. Fluoride's $37 out of pocket. Let's just take care of that now. And I'll let Sarah know that you're ready for fluoride. Great. Awesome front office team. You just helped your hygiene team get fluoride taken care of, paid for, done. Conversation's over while they're waiting. And that way you've already collected on your hygiene patient. Treatment patients. Yep. Guess what? Treatment might change, but it also might not change. You can collect, you can refund, and you can also collect more, but you can also be done. So I like you guys to pre-collect on the last patient of the day before they even go back there. Ideally, I like you to pre-collect on every single one of them because that just makes it a lot easier. People don't conveniently forget their checkbooks as often. So that's an efficiency piece. That's how you could be better. That could be an obstacle standing in your way of you guys not getting out on time. This is just one example. There's tons of other examples for you. But back to the front office team, if you pre-collect at the 4 o'clock, well, then people tell me I can't run reports. I'm not able to do reports until the last patient's done because I don't know what happens. Guess what? At 4:30, your hygienist probably knows what they've already done and you could set the hygiene appointment complete. Also, doctor, you can walk in there and say, hey guys, has anything changed with treatment or are we good? And I can set this complete. Between 4:30 and 4:45, you usually can close up those appointments because things are pretty much done and we know what's going to happen. That way you can run your reports, have them done, finished, and completed by 5 o'clock. So that way you can get out of there on time and you're not waiting. All those things, look for all the reasons why you can't do something because usually that's an obstacle that's sitting in your way that if we could figure it out, there's gold sitting underneath it that will make you more efficient. That'll make you so you have more time, so you're not as stressed out, so you have more free time on where you get to go home earlier. All these little pieces are efficiency pieces that I believe are obstacles sitting in front of us that really will help us be happier and be the best that we can possibly be in our job. All right, guys, Dental A team, we level up. We look at ourselves. We figure out what area you say, but that can't be done. Shoot us an email. I want to offer you guys solutions. Seriously, reach out to me, text me, call me, send us an email, info@thedentalateam.com. Ask us those questions. This is what we coach on. When I go into offices, they'll tell us, hey, Kiera, I don't know how to do this. Or, hey, we're really struggling with getting our payroll down. Or we're really struggling getting our supplies down. Sweet. That's the opportunity. That's the obstacle. That's where we can find the way. And that is what's going to help us be an A-team practice and an A-team person. Look at yourselves. Find it. I believe that when you progress, you have happiness. All right, Dental A team listeners, that was your tactical practical. Let's get efficient. This could be used for a Monday morning mashup in your meetings every single. Try it out. Look for those efficiencies and let us know what you guys find. Thank you guys so much for listening. I'll catch you next time on the Dental A Team podcast. And that wraps it up for another episode of the Dental A Team podcast. Thank you so much for listening, and we'll talk to you next time.